Everybody, welcome to another episode of the Crab and Goat Show. It is Monday, March 10th, 2025. Welcome, everybody, to the show. If you're watching us on Facebook or LinkedIn, if you don't mind sharing this on your page so that other folks can watch along with you. If you're watching us on YouTube, please scroll down, hit the subscribe button, whichever channel you're watching on, so that other folks can watch along with you. And if you're watching us on Instagram, welcome to all our friends on Instagram. Thank you for watching. We are keeping an eye on your comments to make sure that you are also part of the show. And for those of you, we have two YouTube pages. We have Wayne's and mine, and we have two Instagrams. But don't worry, we're keeping an eye on them. We're making sure that we bring you on the show and that you're part of it. So make sure you comment, say hi, me, whatever. Hi, Wayne.
Hello, happy Monday. We're here again.
Happy Monday. How are you?
I'm okay. I will say it is, I always will give my astrology rundown, and we were talking about this a little bit before the show, but the energies are intense right now. There is a lot of intensity, and I feel like even on my Instagram feed that I follow on my private one, I've seen a lot of messages that you don't typically see where it's like, oh my gosh, the last 3 days, they've been so intense. Is anyone else feeling this? And some people kind of speaking to those things too. And, it is an intense month astrologically with a lot happening, which I'll get into in a little bit. But I will say I've definitely been feeling it. There's definitely been this energy since the new moon of really focused on not just clearing things out, but starting to work towards better intimacy with myself and like kind of building that in a different way than it has been. So it's good. It definitely feels like the emotions are coming up. It's probably, and I know I'm not the only one with the clients that I've seen just today and over the past couple of weeks. It really has been like a theme at heart for so many people. So I am going through it to a degree, but I'm also, as any of us do as healers, as people, as individuals, it is really about trying to be as aware as possible, right? Understand what's happening, and then leaving yourself open to let the universe work its magic and reveal to you what needs to be revealed. So I am going through that process at this very moment.
Let's not even get into feelings. I've been in my like pulling those heartstrings since Friday, and then it just kind of culminated last night with it's really interesting when things like this happen, because feelings and emotions that I've never had towards certain people creeped up yesterday. Feelings of, and for those of you that know me or know I've been clean and sober now coming on 18 years in June, feelings of wanting to use and drink popped up on Friday, which is scary till I get to my apartment. Because once I get to my apartment, I'm like, I do not have the energy to go anywhere to look for drugs or alcohol. So my sanctuary. Once I get under that blanket on my couch, I'm like, yeah, it's too tiring. Who wants to go look for drugs at 7:00 at night on Friday?
No, thank you.
And, I don't even have the energy to call DoorDash or Grubhub. Never mind a drug dealer.
Oh my God.
Then I had therapy. For those of you, I have therapy on Mondays at 2, and our show starts at 5. So I have about a 3-hour window there to like decompress from therapy. When I tell you, my therapist had a lot to work with today. I was extra. I was extra. And it's a good thing that she understands a little bit about energy and the way energy flows, because she works with me on that. But she also calls me on my BS when she needs to. She's like, yeah, pretty much it's like what she says is like, let's not blame the universe for your
for something you're doing, for something that you can be aware of and change. Rude. So rude, her doing her job.
So like, you're fired. I don't care that you're free. You're fired.
So you fire her every week and then you rehire on Mondays?
Yes, of course. Every 2 weeks, she's like, you're back. You're back. I need you back. But it was a Patriots Day parade here in Laguna Beach on Saturday. And I want to shout out, I don't think any of them watch, but should any of them watch, a big shout out to all of the police departments around Laguna Beach. We had Costa Mesa, Santa Ana, Irvine, Fountain Valley. We had different organizations helping out with the parade this weekend, and we had the oh shit, I just forgot the name. The junior policeman.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name.
I know what you mean, but I couldn't tell you what.
Yeah, I was talking about them earlier, but I just can't remember right now. But yes, so they were all weird. It's so cool to see like young people really going out there for it. So big hello to anybody who does.
That's great. That's awesome.
You know, right?
There is just something so magical about Laguna Beach, and anytime there's events, I mean, all the times I've come and visited, and I mean, I'm just a hop and a skip just on the other side of the mountain. But Laguna Beach, and whenever they have the events, and you know, it's never crazy. It feels, and with the city perspective too, with the police, like it never feels like there's anything too crazy happening, right? Even though Main Beach is another story at certain times with, you know, what shows up and who shows up and whatever they're standing for at that time. But Laguna Beach definitely has that sweet spot, and like so much so that community built. And I feel like it's part of the geography of it, right? With how Laguna Beach is kind of sectioned up against the ocean and the mountains. So it kind of requires that community feeling. But I feel like we don't always get that in other more widespread areas. You know, even Aliso Viejo, I feel like there's community, yes, but not in the same way that I feel like with Laguna, especially knowing all the things that you do there in that community.
And I think it also plays, you know, we're talking about energy. I think it also plays to the, I just got chills. It plays to the energy in Laguna Beach because there's all these little coves, and the water comes in, and I feel like it just stores the energy until it overflows.
Mm-hmm.
And from my apartment with the windows open, you can hear the waves at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I wholeheartedly believe that plays a big part in the way my emotions go back and forth. But when I tell you, I was bawling yesterday. I don't even remember what I was watching. I don't remember what I watched last night, but I was crying. Oh yeah. There's this show called Harlem, and it was making me cry last night because one of the girls had to end up in the hospital. So it brought up memories of hospital for me, and so it was a crazy night. Anyway, I feel like we have a lot to work with today. Are you ready to start?
Yes, we do, and yes, I am ready.
All right, so let's.
All right. So there's a few things to speak about today. I know I've probably touched on this during the last show, but if not, I kind of want to give a quick recap of what we can expect from March. So March, we have a lot happening. We're already in a Venus retrograde. Friday, Mercury is going to be retrograding. We have an eclipse, a full moon happening on Friday. We have an eclipse, a lunar eclipse happening on Friday. There'll be another eclipse later this month. And then we also are coming to the end of this astrological season, and we'll be stepping into the new astrological year once we hit Aries season. So we're about 10 days away from that as well too. So there's a lot of energy shifting, and in my work with my clients in channeling that information and stuff that comes through as well too. March is a really pivotal month. It's a pivotal month for change, for sudden change as well too, especially with those eclipses, sudden breakthroughs. But it doesn't mean that it's without seeming chaos, seeming challenge. And then of course, you know, the full moon as well has that culmination of the Piscean energy, the Virgoan energy, and striking that balance between both of those. So I'll speak to more of that as that comes in. But the big thing that I want to note with March is that this is a time for things to be revealed. And the things that we've really been working on up to this point, this is a culmination time that's going to test us on a lot of those things, test us on how we feel about how those things have come up, how much have we actually healed these things, and we can really use these energies to assist us in moving forward. I'm excited. Eventually, I'll share the cards that I pulled for this week, but I feel like the full moon card that's representative of Friday is going to be really interesting to share with you as well too. So with that said, this full moon lunar eclipse that's happening, this is happening on Friday, early morning, very early morning on the 14th. And again, this is a full moon that happens in Virgo, that it's in opposition to the sun in Pisces. So this is wanting us to focus on those areas of life. So Virgo is, to me, it's reality, right? It's the routines, it's the daily life, it's the structure. And Pisces represents the unseen, the connection to spirit, and each of these things. So there's this balancing out that's happening. And I would say too, there's even energies where we're kind of questioning what is real to us and what doesn't feel real, what is in connection. And I feel like this is a really good time to set more expectations to help in breaking down certain beliefs, certain ideas that aren't serving us at this time. So just know there's a really strong punch happening, especially with Friday. Friday being the full moon, the lunar eclipse, Mercury is going retrograde. That's joining Venus that's already been in retrograde. So there is a lot of that kind of energy happening. And then with Venus retrograding, this is kind of like the energy of love, how we connect to love. It's offline at this time. And so when that type of energy happens, when it's offline, it is a way for us to reassess the love for ourselves. And Venus is in Aries. So as it retrogrades through, it's kind of like helping us to re-understand and reprogram our self-love. That's so significant. As I'm saying this is totally applicable for me as well, too. I love how this works out. And then Mercury is also in Aries, and it's going to be retrograding. So this is really helping us to form like this new self, this new Aries energy, the new ego, the new part of us, so that we can start moving forward differently and change in how we communicate and how we love and each of those things. Mars continues to be in Cancer. It is now direct. So we're still, we have direct energy now, but it's still in Cancer. So this is also helping us to move forward in our creation and further creation of Cancerian energies. So family, home, what we're doing with home, and even intuitive abilities. It's interesting. I had a client today too that my intuition kind of confirmed that their intuition has been kind of shifted offline, and there's a purpose to it. There's a purpose for that coming offline. And to me, it's making sense in this moment with this Mars and Cancer too, of helping to kind of reintegrate and shift your intuition as well. So with all of that said, just know that Friday is the important date to look to be aware of. And I would say, like, look at what I have to say. Go online, find, I love Cafe Astrology. I love astromatrix.app, other platforms, but look and see what they have to say and what you're drawn to about this Friday, specifically with the full moon, with this lunar eclipse, and then those other factors, because you're going to find exactly what's going to resonate right with you. And this really is it's a catalytic energy that's coming forward, but there's also the energy of healing and being able to be integrated and taking control from that moving forward. So with that said, I'll kind of transition from our astrology and into the cards that I've pulled that represent this upcoming week. So first card today is represented by the Fool. So this is a new, fresh start, beginning type of day. I will say emotionally, this kind of feels like it's energy and emotions feel fresh and things feel somewhat intense, but there is also this energy of new beginnings, new fresh starts coming in. So today definitely has that vibe of a good time to see things from a fresh perspective. I'd say that's definitely good coming up to the full moon as well too, and really embracing things as fresh and new, because I know the world is feeling very crazy and dark and challenging. And this is another one of those ways where it's like, even though you know what's happening around you, this is the energy that's saying, know that a fresh beginning is still coming. And then what's really neat is tomorrow, the card is represented by the Ace of Cups. So then tomorrow is going to be the energy of emotional renewal to a degree. So new emotions coming up, emotional. And I would say tomorrow's really the day that's going to help you figure out, how do you want to feel on a daily basis moving forward? So tomorrow, let yourself, whatever emotions are coming up, or let yourself start to fantasize about what would it feel like if I would like emotionally felt great all the time. Not that that's realistic, sometimes, yes, but what would that feel like? And starting to question and embody that. I also feel like tomorrow's the day where emotions are going to start coming up that need to be released, that no longer serve you. Again, I know this is a full moon, and that really is about culmination and expression and something coming into being. But there is that opportunity to be able to identify what's coming up that needs to be released, that needs to be mourned. So Wednesday, we have the Five of Cups reversed represented here. And with this is definitely that energy of needing to mourn and recognizing that even if our cups have fallen over and there's something to mourn, there's still two upright cups. There's still something there for us. There's still growth for us moving forward. So I would say it's going to be emotional days, Tuesday, Wednesday, but it's all for the purpose of helping you to understand, where do you need to look and where do you need to focus as we come into this full moon. And I love this. So then Thursday, the day before the full moon and the lunar eclipse, we have the Six of Cups. So we went from the Five of Cups to the Six of Cups. And with the Six of Cups, this is that card of nostalgia. So this just tells me too, through this acknowledgement and grieving process that we're going through between Tuesday and Wednesday, and then it's going to lead us to those past experiences that are likely coloring a lot of our perspective and coloring our emotional base, shall we say, or your emotional average point of where you're at on any given time. So Thursday, I'd say, is likely the day that's going to come up when you know why these emotions came up, and it's going to remind you of those events that happened. So bring all of this to the full moon, and this is the big reveal, maybe not so big, but the Magician. So Friday, it's so interesting. I would have thought, my ego would have thought that this would be like the Devil or the Tower or Death or one of those, more challenging, more catalytic energy cards. But I love that it's come up with the Magician, because the Magician is all about taking the tools that you have at your disposal, everything that you've learned that's effective, and creating something from nothing. So creating something new and kind of creating a whole new world for yourself in that too. So if you can really embrace the emotions that come up throughout this week and channel that during that full moon time, you're going to be able to shift more into this desired reality of how you want to feel, that more connectedness and understanding where you're at. So this is very, very powerful. And then moving into Saturday, we have the Wheel of Fortune, followed by Sunday, the Seven of Swords. So over the weekend, I would say Saturday is definitely going to be an integration day, where it's likely, when you go through a lot of energy work, when you go through a lot of processing, mental, emotional, all those things, it takes some time to recuperate. So let Saturday be a day where things just flow. Don't expect yourself to do too much, especially with those very intense energies, that eclipse that you'll have just experienced. And then on Sunday, I'd say it's important for you to start asking yourself, what am I motivated by? What are my motivations? What am I here to do? What am I wanting to do? Because you've done this kind of emotional acknowledgement, emotional clearing out, looking to the past, saying, universe, this is what I want moving forward. And so now this is about, how do I put this into aspect every day? How do I move forward with this energy of what I want to move forward with? And how do I make sure that I am implementing this on a regular basis for myself? So with all of that said, intense energies, this is definitely a very healing time, a time for clearing out and for things to come to the surface, things to be more revealed. And this is definitely a theme of March as well, too. So I will leave you all with that for the week. And I do want to speak to my first event, right?
Yes.
Let's pull it up and let's talk about it. Okay, so tomorrow, we are hosting the Power of Rahu Tech, an introduction to energy work. So tomorrow, 6 to 8:30, this is a great opportunity to get a brief introduction to Rahu Tech. We teach you different methods to learn to sense and perceive subtle energies. You'll also receive an energy healing transmission like we do during our healing circle. So this will help ground you, help clear any attachments, the whole gamut. And then we also give you a temporary 7-day attunement to Rahu Tech. And we give you different ways of working with it. And we want you to use this in your daily life, because you'll see how much this really does empower every intention. So if you are interested and you're going to be in the Costa Mesa area tomorrow, you can go to my website and hop over to that link, or you can visit the Ascension Tech website as well too. And I actually have a nice, exciting opportunity for you all to see our first kind of commercial for our healing event. We had a great time. Daniel was one of our people doing transmissions, and I got to capture some footage of me working on him. So we will go ahead and premiere kind of our video from our healing circle, and we'll do it now.
We got commercials now, folks.
Look out. We're upgrading for sure.
Tell you, that was a really cool night, though. It's always fun when folks that have never had an energy work, Reiki, readings, nothing. Somebody who comes in like basically a virgin spirit, if we can say that. You can't, because I just said it. A
Yes.
virgin spirit.
Oh, man.
That's what we're gonna call it from now on. But it's really interesting, and it's usually men that come in that have never had, that walk away really excited with the energy and the way that I work. That at the end I give them a little like
breakdown
of what I felt, and you see their eyes just, what? How did you know that? I'm like, I felt you.
Mm-hmm.
I felt you.
I got powers, okay?
It was really cool. All right. For those of you who are regulars, we are doing our alignment. So make sure that you have your pen and paper ready. If you're a regular of the show, I always suggest have a notebook or a journal so you can keep track of the different alignments that we do, the different cards that come up, the mantras that we put out. And now you can find them on Facebook, on the Card Devo page. You can also find them on my LinkedIn. So the cards will be available there along with the mantra. So you can go back and for those of you, the mantras are created as we pull the cards. So these are not, I don't have a script for those. So sometimes they're slightly different from the way I say them here to the way they go on Facebook or LinkedIn. But I realized last week that I wasn't putting the full instructions on what you need to do in order to get to that. So this week I will put that. So if you are following me on LinkedIn or Facebook, you will get the full idea of what to do. All right. So we're going to put Wayne in the green room so he can work on his. And we're about to alignment. So remember, number one, what is your barrier? What's the barrier this week? What are you working on this week? Is there something personal, something professional? Is it something regarding people, places, or things in your life? What is it that's blocking you from achieving your goals, personal or professional? All right. And then number one is support. Are you getting the right support system? Are you getting the right support to follow, to go after your dreams and your goals? And remember, that root chakra, that foundation, that's where everything sits. Everything that was ever said and done to you when you were little up to right now. So if you did not receive the support that you required as a younger person to achieve your goals and dreams, is that affecting you going forward today to break down those barriers? Do you need, and I want to say this, are you needy? Do you need people to support you, or are you able to do this on your own? Word number two is sexuality. Ooh. And sexuality on the sacral chakra and the balance, this is all about your identity. This is about how you put yourself out there. This is about, I just got chills. This is about the energy that you put out. This is how we attract people. Our sexuality is what we use to attract people, how we identify, pronouns, identity, sexuality. Who are you? And based on your sexuality, are you getting the right support? And is that helping the barrier that you have for yourself? All right. Number three is motivation. This is in your, there we go. This is in your power. Oh, it's in Spanish. Motivation. This is in your power in your solar plexus. This is about you motivating yourself. Now, this is also where our willpower is. So are you being stubborn? Is that why your barriers are there? Is your stubbornness, is your ego feeding your barrier and allowing it to grow more? Or are you ready to trust your intuition? Are you ready to trust your gut feelings so that you can identify as who you want to really be and therefore receive the support you want? Because let me go back a little bit. If you are not clearly identifying who you are to yourself first, remember, it's not about other people agreeing with who you are. Do you agree with who you are? And if you do, then that's going to motivate you to go in the right direction. Because here's the because Say, for instance, because Wayne is here on the show. Say, for instance, Wayne is putting out a certain identity. Say, Wayne is putting out an energy in his sexuality. I'm supporting that energy. But if that's not the real him, then what am I supporting? Does that make sense? So if we're not honest with ourselves, if I'm not honest with ourselves and telling people, this is who Daniel G. Garza is, then are you supporting the real me or this creation? And when the creation's not there, then I'm not going to be motivated to move forward. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. All right. Word number 4. This is all about love. This is your intake. This is your heart. So this is about loving ourselves. This is all connecting. See how it all connects? So if I don't love myself, in the words of the famous philosopher RuPaul, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? It's the same thing. If I can't love myself, if there's no love for me, then I am not motivated to break down barriers because I'm in my comfort zone, because I've created this persona, this image, and people are supporting that, not the real me. And I know it's really hard. There's more than one way to come out of the closet. There is obviously the sexuality, there's the identity, but there is who are you really? And this could happen in your career. Maybe you're going after one career because people think that you should do that, but you really want to do something else. Maybe you have been in one type of job forever, but you really want to do something different. So if you don't love you and love what you do, then where's the motivation to do it, to find your identity and get the support system that you want? And again, if I'm not being authentic, I'm not finding the right support. And I'll give this example. When I was in my addiction, I was getting support from people that I would party with to motivate that part of my persona, that part of my sexuality, my identity. But the moment that I stopped and I realized that that was just a cartoon character of me, those people stopped supporting me and I had to find a different motivation to move forward. I hope that's making sense. Word number 5. This is your voice chakra. Haha, how interesting. We're talking about truth. Are you speaking your truth right now? That is so hard sometimes. And like I mentioned every time we have the show, I go to therapy before the show and I have to speak the truth to my therapist. Otherwise, the therapy won't work. If I don't go in there with the truth, same thing in life. If I don't walk into my life every morning speaking my truth, then I'm not loving me. I'm loving this creation that I have. So the motivation to be better, bigger, stronger, it won't be there. So my sexuality, my identity might be a little skewed. And am I getting the right support that I need from people around me? I hope that's making sense. Number 6 is your vision, your third eye. This is all about perception. Is the grass greener on the other side? The universal answer to this is always no. It is not always greener because we don't know what's going on over there. So the perception that the truth that I'm speaking, not my truth, let's separate. The truth that I think is the truth. I can make up all kinds of things, but if it's not my truth, then am I really loving myself, or am I loving, again, this persona, this cartoon character, this creation? And let me tell you, for somebody like, for instance, me, that I work in different environments, I go from entertainment to advocacy to energy work to coaching. Sometimes I have to create these different personas so I can reach people. But at the end of the day, I have to really love and have to make sure that they are part of me, not something that I just made up out of nowhere. Hope that makes sense. Okay. And number 7, which is your connector, your crown chakra. This is all about your body. I know she's been gone for a long time. Anna Nicole Smith always comes to mind when I hear body. Do you like my body? And our bodies is more than our body. This is mind, body, and spirit. This is about how I connect with myself. This is how I receive the message and present myself in front of God, the universe, life, the people around me. So everybody got it? So let me just review them. So it's support, sexuality, motivation, love, truth, perception, and body. All right. So here's the first one. In order to find the support that I need to find my sexuality, and you can parentheses identity, so I can stay motivated to love myself, speak my truth, so I can adjust my perception when it comes to my body, or parentheses when it comes to me, or paying attention to my body and adjusting my perception to speak my truth so I can love myself and stay motivated to show my identity or sexuality and find the support that I need. I hope that made sense. Again, I'm going to bring Wayne back on. If you missed anything, the recordings are going to be out. And now we realize that the system we use here, StreamYard, does a really great job of putting little clips for us. So we were putting out clips. So hopefully this will be in one of the clips. If not, follow me on Facebook at the Card Devo, at the Alignment, and on LinkedIn, and you'll find the alignment cards along with the mantras for the week, and you can use those. So again, I suggest get a notebook or a journal so you can keep track every week that you come back at the alignment. This is an ongoing process. Coaching is an ongoing process, but the alignment is meant for 8 sessions, but we do a different session every week. So.
And I do want to say, so I do want to speak about today, but I also want to say and we talked about, and you just said typically it's 8 sessions, but I spoke to, I can't remember exactly who it was, but I spoke to someone about the show, and they say, Tuesday, they realize, oh my gosh, I missed the show on Monday, and they'll go back and they love the show in general, but they were talking about the alignment, and they were saying how, like, every time they've done the alignment with our show, it has really set them up well for that week and helped them to understand what's happening, what's coming. So they were super blown away by it. And so this is another great reminder to all of you out there. If you're interested, these mini alignments are huge. Like, even I'm having a big, understanding from what we just went through. But Daniel does this, on a personal basis. And this is just a mini portion of what the system is designed to do. So it's a great opportunity if you're interested to work with him, have him, do the alignment for you, sign up for those sessions. I've had a couple of sessions with him when he was on the tail end of finishing it, creating it, and it was really, really powerful. So highly recommend you guys reach out to him and book that if it's something that you've been finding really good, growth from or acknowledgement from doing this. He can serve you even better working one-on-one and going even more in depth. So with that said, so my barrier today was more so, and Daniel and I kind of talked about this before the show, but there's in my emotions that have been coming up in this process that I've been going through, and I acknowledge why, because I've set some intentions at the new moon to come forward. But I've been feeling very emotional about what am I actually going to be able to create? What am I actually going to be able to realize? Actually, I'm saying actually so many times. And so this just totally hits on that, because I have been very diligent in the work that I've been doing, but there's also been a struggle to it as well too. And I don't want to give up. I don't want to stop what I'm doing, but I'm definitely feeling that sense of when can I see more of the tangible reward of the work that I'm doing so that I can continue to level up from that space. So all of this totally hits on it. And it is it's also interesting because body being the 7th one that you pulled this time, I have been realizing over the past week the certain judgments that I have about my body. And I think, again, this is intentions that I set with the new moon, and the judgment I have in my body that reflects, some of the love that I don't necessarily have for myself or the challenges that are there. So all of this is so spot on with what I kind of needed to acknowledge and know so that I can continue to press forward, and knowing that, yes, these things are going to come up. Yes, I'm going to still have some of these challenges, but this really helps me to get honest with myself about how am I really approaching this barrier and how I'm feeling about it. So another great.
And something you just said and about support, and this, I think it's really key that support is the first word, particularly in these times. We're talking about feelings and emotions at the beginning of the show. Not everybody is going to support you in your journey for your goals and dreams, and that's something we forget. We tend to forget that our partners have their own dreams and goals, and they're on their own journey. Yes, our journeys are matching in the timeline, but that doesn't mean that they stop living to go after our goals and dreams. And as much as we want to support them and be like, hey, I'm here for you, I'm still in my own car driving my own journey. So I wanted to highlight that, because a lot is, as the sexuality identity card comes out, if my partner, and I'm going to put this, if my partner doesn't support me, then I don't want to do it. Who am I? And why am I? Because your identity should not be based on your partners or your family. And you can parentheses and put anything in there: partner, parents, siblings, best friend, boss, whatever. Your support for your dreams and goals should not be based on the people around you. And this is why sometimes we drop the motivation. And I always tell my clients, if your motivation is dropped because your fill in the blank is not supporting you, then is that really your goal? Like, is that really what you want to do in life? Because the only reason that I'm doing this show is because Wayne is here with me, then do I really want to do the show? Which I do want to do the show, by the way. But I hope that makes sense for people, because I wanted to make sure that we're coming up. We wanted to clarify that. Okay. With that said, for everybody who's watching, this is your time to say me on the comment section. Where I think, did I erase the me? I erased the me.
Was it the one I sent? Do you need me to resend it?
There it is. There it is. Type me for a reading. So make sure you type me for a reading. We already have our first person, which you sent me the comment. There we go. There we go. And everybody else, just type me in the comment sections and we'll bring you up next.
Yay. All right. All right, Bobby. So good to see you. Happy Monday. Okay. So just taking a peek. Kind of just pulled these as we were talking with Daniel too. Okay. Heart of your spread, heart of your situation. You have the Ace of Swords. So there's a new belief system coming in for you. There's a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing the world. And it is coming to you in a way that's very interesting, because your crossing card or your challenge card is the Two of Swords. So this card typically represents shutting yourself off from seeing the truth of your situation, from covering up your heart and protecting your heart with the swords, and then having your back turned on your emotions, on the ocean as well too. So with this being your challenge card, there's a sense of like, I think you're recognizing there's a different way of thinking, there's a different way of approaching your daily life and how you are approaching it. And it's interesting because this is a mental way of understanding something that is emotionally flowing from you. But I don't think that you'll understand that it's emotional until after you have the mental understanding of it. So with that being said, your theme card affecting your past, present, and future, you have the King of Pentacles reversed. So this tells me that there's value here. There's value that you've grown and built. I would also say in your career, this is somewhere that intuitively feels like you have placed a lot of your self-worth, a lot of the way that you feel that I do this and I ensure that and XYZ. But there are certain beliefs, or there are beliefs in you that make me feel like you don't always believe that you're capable of it. And part of that feels like father energy. So maybe there's some father wound there that needs to be looked at and needs to be further worked on. And I feel like to a degree, you might have noticed this, especially with the intensity of the emotions that Daniel and I have been mentioning, that we've been feeling, the astrology of the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if you've had emotions coming up around father figure, around family, around those types of subjects. And you're really coming to a point where you're ready to leave that type of energy behind. And so as you're trying to leave this energy behind, coming to the present influences, you have the Chariot reversed, which means that there's a slowdown or a stopping. So it's like you're saying, okay, I'm ready to move. I'm ready to be done with this. But the universe is saying, oh, no, you got to sit on this for a little bit longer. You have to understand what that is. So, and I do feel like there's this sense of when a problem comes up, you just want to solve it, and be done and move forward with it. But with this, there's more emotions that are there. So you're really needing to sit on it more and really feel it out in its entirety so that you can think about it from a different perspective. And then I like this for you, as you move forward into the future, you have the Sun. So there is happiness that's possible. There is an ability for you to move forward and kind of have that inner child in you healed to a degree. But you really need to embrace the energies of this week. So I'm sure you've already seen what I spoke about. And I even think Daniel's alignment would likely help you a lot in preparing you for this full moon. And not just for you, but for everyone out there, this full moon, what I like to do when I say like draw in the energy of it, it can be whatever practice you want. It could be sitting down for 10, 15 minutes and just thinking about what do you want to change differently. It can be a meditation, it can be something, but it's taking time to sit with yourself, sit with the universe, sit with spirit, and allow whatever needs to happen, whatever you feel drawn to do. Again, whether that's 5 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. But so, Bobby, for you, I feel like you really need to utilize what you have been going through, the emotions that have been coming up, the memories, the challenges, and let this kind of culminate as you come throughout the week. And in some way, on Friday, it's the time for you to really take in all that energy and start setting an intention for a different way of approaching things moving forward. So, with that said, internal influences, you're relearning how to love yourself and others. There's certain expectations that I think has always been tied mentally to what love is. And you are coming out of that now. You're kind of removing that belief and letting love kind of just speak for itself. So there's this integration that the universe is helping you with emotionally and in your physical as well too. And then the guidance from the tarot is to know that the mind is strong, but it's not the only thing. It is not the only way of understanding our reality. And it is only one layer of depth to our experience. And I feel like, again, it's not a bad thing to know that you're smart. It's not a bad thing to communicate. It's not a bad thing to use those mental facilities, but to think that this is all there is, and I'm not saying that's exactly for you, but to think that this is the one that can create the most shift and change, this is the one that's the most hardwired in us. This is the one that is the most challenging to shift and change. And that's why those emotions and spirit, intuition need to come in so that we can kind of work with these thoughts, these ideas, these beliefs so that we can move forward and know our value, know our worth. So your outcome card is the Queen of Pentacles. So you're really understanding the depth of your value on a deeper level and in a much more feminine way with the energy that you're facing. So with all that said, take everything that's been coming up and let yourself set an intention on Friday moving forward.
Cool. And thank you, Bobby, for coming back to the show. We're glad to see you back. All right, I'm going to take Israel. And for everybody else watching, all you got to do is type me in your comment section, whatever channel you're watching on. And again, we're keeping track of the Instagram pages. So if you're on Instagram, we will keep an eye on that. So I'm going to take Israel, and then we'll be back. Thank you, Israel, for coming back to the show. All right. Israel, I pulled out some cards here for you already. Number one, in your foundation. And I'm using my gypsy cards today. I felt inclined to pull out the gypsy cards. So for your foundation, there is the 9 of swords. So this is all about your thinking. And this is about your rebel mind. This is about your going against the norm, going against the bosses, going against everything. This is about your challenging energy. And we talked about this in the beginning of the show. If you missed the beginning of the show, we talked about our ego and our power. This is about the balance between your confidence and your ego, and which one is ahead and which one is taken over. We have to be careful, right? Because if our ego takes over, it could lead us in the wrong direction. And we want to make sure that it's our confidence and that we're confident in what we're doing, not egotistical in what we're doing. In your now, it is the 7 of swords. And the 7, it's all about the miracles, the changes, the spirituality. And this is about the miracle and the spirituality of your brain. This is about seeing the miracles at the end. This is seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. This is about seeing the changes that you want in your life. And this goes for everybody watching, if in your goals and your dreams, you are seeing darkness and a continuing of tunnel and being stuck in caves and nothing ever changing, then the universe is like, well, this is what you want. I'm not going to do it. So it's about changing that energy around and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel to make sure that you get there. But not just the end of the tunnel, but how do you want the tunnel? How do you want the exit to look like? What do you want in the end? Because you get another 7 here tomorrow. And this is about the 7 of cups. So 7 of cups is all about hearts. It's coming to you upside down. So this is going to be disappointments in certain things, particularly when it comes to things you love, people, places, and things. Pay attention to the way that you think about things is affecting your relationship with people, places, and things around you. Because it's not just about, oh, this is the way I think. It affects me only. This is about we talk about the ripple effect. Yes, it affects you first, and you might think it stops there, but your actions with what you think, it's causing a ripple effect to the people around you. So pay attention to that. In your spirit, there is a female energy. This female energy has a cup. So this female energy is holding your heart. It's in your spirit. So there's a really strong connection. Now, she's still in a happy energy. I feel like she's still in that happy energy, but pay attention that it doesn't I say this with love, make sure that your negativity doesn't start to overlap into her happiness. And for everybody watching, when I talk about female or male energies, this could be a woman or this could be an effeminate man. But my guess, because I know Israel a little bit, is a feminine energy there. Make sure that because she's in your spirit and she's holding the heart, that your energy the negative energy doesn't start to overflow onto her. In your heart, which is interesting, there is the 9 of Cups. So all about the card. It's 9, but it's upside down. So again, I'm gonna throw this out there to you. Be very aware of where the way you think, this is the way things are mentality doesn't affect other people around you. We need to work on. Here is the male energy. There is a blonde, light-skinned energy male. Some money. He could feed you financially, mentally, physically, or spiritually. So he could be teaching you something. He could be paying you something, or he could be helping you, mentoring you in some way. So if you have a new boss, a new mentor, somebody that's showing you the way things are, believe in the direction that they're taking you. Because here is the 2 of Clubs. This is all about your strengths and your power. The way that it's coming up is about ending of things. So that's why I'm saying pay attention to the way your mind works, because you might be causing the end of certain things in your life. So the end of the way you think might affect your relationships, your heart. There's a male with an energy with a financial gain coming to you. There's also the female energy. The heart's upside down, so the spirituality, the connection, the miracles might be ending. Pay attention to changing the way you think, because that could affect your relationships around you. I hope that made sense. But again, I say this with love. Pay attention to how you think, because that could affect your connection to other people. And there's that. We had a message from Bobby. Thank you so much, Richard. Full bullseye with that. Thank you. I'm saying you're welcome. Yes, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
But I wanted to touch on that a little bit, because pretty much like today has been kind of about that. Is if I'm not presenting myself as authentic, whether I like something or not, then the ripple effect onto other people, they're getting that energy and they're feeding off that energy. And if I'm not completely me, they will respond to that energy. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally. And I think we've talked about this before, and I kind of have this spiel when I'm doing some of our Rehu Tech workshops where I talk about authenticity. One of the things they did a study, I believe it was some university did a study, and it was all around what emotion is the highest intensity for a human. And the concept being, they wanted to figure out, is love the highest vibration? Is it the most intense? Is that what it is? So they did the study. They had like 600 people, and they found that love was not, in fact, that highest intensity or the highest vibration, but it was actually authenticity. And it was by like 4,000 times. And I love that, because I think love is something that is important for us to think about, to share, to feel that we have as well too. But I also think that if it's not authentic, and if we're not authentic in ourselves, we can't authentically receive or give love from other people as well too. So the way that you spoke about that as well is very much that if I am being my authentic self, yes, I'm going to have some positive attributes. I'm going to have some challenging attributes. But in all of this, I get to be my most authentic self, and I'm accepting others and allowing them to accept me as well too. And then when you add in that extra layer of a relationship where feedback happens, communication happens. And so there's this opportunity where you can build really strong communication around authenticity that doesn't necessarily have to trigger heavy feelings or negativity or trigger our ego, which it typically does a lot too. So I always love this conversation that we have around authenticity specifically, because I feel like it is such a important cornerstone, if not foundation, of being able to give and receive unconditional love with others as well too.
Exactly. Yep. And so I hope I mentioned this in other shows and I hadn't mentioned it today. For those of you watching, stick around for the other readings if you can, because sometimes the messages that come across, because I know it does for me. Sometimes I hear Wayne readings and then I hear what I'm saying. I'm like, oh yeah.
Rude.
Oh yeah. Oops. Okay, we have Claudia Torres. So Wayne, are you ready, Claudia?
I am ready. Let's do it, Claudia. Welcome back. Good to see you. Ooh, almost dropping cards here. So interesting themes that we're kind of seeing pop up, and already some correlations between earlier readings as well. But so for you, Claudia, right now, your focus, your heart of your situation is the Ace of Pentacles. So this tells me that, to me, typically this is career, finances, material needs being met, but this also represents values to a degree. So this feels twofold. It feels like it has both of that. I feel like you're really focused on new beginning in career or a level up in career, but fresh energy around career. And it also is around your value too. Oh, that's interesting. I would say, if you're not already transitioning out of a current job or considering it, I think that you're like in the process. I feel like you've already emotionally made the decision, but I'll get to that. So with this being said, it's also about your value. You've come to realize your value in a much more intense way, and in a way that is helping you to make better decisions around the direction that you want to head in, because your challenge card is the 10 of Pentacles. So it's interesting. You have this fresh start energy, but your challenge is like, you want to get there. You want to be there already. You want to have this done. But I want you to know that if you're either in the process of changing your career, making some sort of shift, changing positions, this is something that is helping you to get closer to your long-term goal and vision, which is likely going to shift by the time you get there. But this is kind of that feeling of like knowing that it's coming. And unfortunately, at times, I hate it when I receive this message from the universe, but patience is important. And it's not just sitting to wait to see how much you want it, but there's other things that you have to come to realize before you can fully understand, embody, and have the, manifestation that you're looking for when it comes to that. And let me tell you, what you're wanting to bring forward, the impact you're wanting to make, it's about the world. There's a world impact that you're wanting to make. It may not literally be impacting every single person that lives on the planet, but there is a large impact that you are wanting to make. And the universe is wanting to support you through that, because you're where you've been, where you've come from, the challenges that you face, this is significant. And they are factors where I feel like a lot of what you want to make an impact on is making sure that the setup isn't the same that it was for you, if that makes sense. So with that being said, you are at present, again, this is that card of leaving behind an emotional situation that no longer serves you. And that's what you're doing. And again, this feels like it's very much tied to career, but it really is tied to your value and your worth of yourself as well too, and that past trauma. So these two kind of go in together, but there's a sense of really understanding yourself better as you're moving forward into the future, and no longer feeling like the negative is what started the story. It's more so this is the experience you had that's brought you into the person that you are now and the way that you understand how to experience this. So in a certain way, you're transmuting that karma, you're transmuting that trauma, but you're doing it in a way where it doesn't have to be so focused on what actually happened. It can be what you've learned from it instead, if that makes sense. So with that being said, internal influences, what you have control over, what you're focused on, you have the 6 of Cups. So there's a sense of nostalgia as well too. So again, looking to the past. And again, I feel like that's where your focus tends to go. And if that's where it tends to go, let it go there, but know that that is setting you up for a different perspective on your present and on your future. Because the universe is wanting you to recognize your value. You have the Queen of Pentacles that wants you to fully embody it, and that you have been fully embodying it. And so what's really important for you to start doing is to enjoy the process along the way and be more childlike in your expression of what it is that you are wanting to create, what you're wanting to accomplish in your career. And then I love this for you as an outcome card, even though it is reversed, you have the King of Pentacles. So this is, in a certain way, you're coming to realize your masculine experience and masculine expression of your career, of your making a difference, making an impact in the world. And I think that there's this belief that is building in you currently that is helping you to get to that place of feeling like, I am going to be capable and I am going to make huge impacts in a lot of big ways that you want to. So with that said, I will leave you with that.
Sorry.
And that's okay. I kind of sprung it on you too, as I was like, oh, okay, Spirit's done. We're done.
Wait a minute. We got more to say. Israel said, thank you. You're welcome, Papa. I'm glad you're here. So that's all we have right now. Is anybody else? If anybody else is available, wants reading, we'll hold on a couple of seconds. We have been able to leave early a couple of weeks because.
If we want to do another ad, what we have coming up.
Oh yes. Where are you?
You can add assistant producer.
There you go.
My title. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so exciting. This is a few weeks in advance, but if you are interested in Rehu Tech modality for yourself, becoming attuned to it, tomorrow's event is great for that, the intro, but this would be the full training attunement certification. It's a full day. We go from 10 a.m. to 5:30. That's going to be on Saturday, March 29th actually, I think it's going to be at Visions, so I sent the wrong card for that, but Visions and Dreams in Costa Mesa. It is $444. We have afterpay payment plans available. You'll receive a permanent attunement to Rehu Tech, so you can channel those energies as part of your very nature. You'll receive a physical level 1 practitioner manual. It's 166 pages with all practically touching on every type of metaphysical topic. And then you also get access to video and audio files for furthering your practice after this training event. You get a full day of hands-on practice with myself and Iris and learn how to integrate Rehu Tech into your daily life. And then you also would be able to join us at our practitioner circle, which happens before our monthly healing circles. And we all come together to just share what have we experienced over the past month, what has changed in our practice, what have we utilized Rehu Tech more for on a different basis, whatever that may be. So if you're interested, you can see more information about that on my website, rwk2.com, or you can visit the Ascension Tech website as well too. But if you're looking to add a very powerful modality to your practice and what you're already doing, Rehu Tech is ideal. So I would love to have you. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat now. Excuse me. Okay, and then also, if you're interested in working with me, I have many different ways of working. I offer intuitive tarot readings. I'm at Awakenings 11 to 3 Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, but I'm also happy to schedule outside of that schedule, whether in person, over the phone, or online. Also offer energy healing sessions, NLP sessions, and a great time right now is also space clearing. So we're coming into spring. We're coming into wanting to help the spring cleaning happen. So this is an ideal time to do some clearing of your home. And it's not just a space clearing, but it's an intention setting as well, to really set the intention of each room in your space to serve your highest good, your family's highest good, whoever you are occupying the space with. So I would definitely recommend that. And then, of course, any of those other services, feel free to check out my website, rwk2.com, for more. I'd love the opportunity to hold space with you and hopefully help with some breakthroughs. And then lastly, we have our Meditative Quest Through the Zodiac album. We have the Pisces album out. I'm still delayed in a few other of the signs, but Pisces is out. So this is a great time to go onto my website and purchase this. You get to go through an experience with the Pisces totem, which is the 2 fish, and really experience that energy. And it's all Rehu Tech energy infused. So every time you listen, you're receiving that Rehu Tech energy that serves your highest good. So if you're interested in that, you can check out my shop on my website, again, rwk2.com.
Awesome. Now go ahead and tell you about my stuff. So if you're interested in the alignment, again, it's transpersonal coaching, identifying, acknowledging, and removing the barriers. We do one-on-ones, groups, team building workshops, in person or virtual. If you're in the Southern California area, and we can get to you in less than 2 hours, I will get there to you. And as Wayne mentioned earlier, we have a 1 session, a 3 session, and an 8 session program. So it depends on your budget and your time commitment. Also, the card deal with services. We do card readings, Reiki, spiritual coaching, life coaching. I should add that I am practitioner 1 Rehu Tech on this now, because I am. And
Yeah.
But I do group workshops, corporate events, parties, bachelorette parties. We like
brings the party, okay? We like to party. We like to party. Oh yeah, I love it.
But tell your friends. I had a message I heard from Claudia. Oh my God. You two always nail it. I love watching your show. We're happy you come back. Please share this with your friends, family. Let them know that we're here every Monday at 5 o'clock, 5 to 6:30. Yes, we leave early sometimes because if nobody's there for reading, we want to spend time. I'm not gonna lie. I want to spend time on my couch and watch TV and have dinner. We are the party. We like to party. We like the Benga Boys. Okay, no.
I'm gonna go listen to that now when we're done.
Get started. Yes. What else can before we go? Is there anything else going on before we leave? Let me tell you what goes on here on the show because you might want to know. So remember, Mondays, it's the Crab and Goat Show. Every Monday started at 5 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern for your spiritual messages, your alignment sessions, and the card readings. On Wednesdays, it's the Christian and Jenna Show, starting at 6 p.m., 9 Eastern with Christian Ramirez, my boyfriend, and myself. And then on Saturdays, we have put it together live stream. What's your story? We want to hear about it. But during this month of March, which is colorectal and anal cancer awareness month, I have several shows lined up on Fridays. So make sure you pay attention. If you're not following us, make sure you do, particularly on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so it tells you every time there's a new show. Last week, I had somebody who was going through as a cancer thriver. This coming Friday, there's a colorectal cancer survivor. And next Friday, which is Anal Cancer Awareness Day, the 21st, I will be talking about my journey through anal cancer. So if you or somebody you know is a cancer survivor, doesn't have to be anal or colorectal, have them join the show, come on the show and watch the show, comment and talk about their, and I'm looking for more people. If you are a cancer survivor, if you're a long-term HIV survivor, if you're a caregiver to somebody long-term, reach out to me, let me know, and we'll have you on the show. And I don't have a show for this Saturday yet, but I'm reaching out to people to maybe do a show.
Capricorn, he's resourceful.
There
will be a show on Saturday.
I will find somebody. Oh, actually, no, I stand corrected. This is the 15th, right? Yeah. So a friend of mine, Guy Anthony, who is a designer, and he designed some bags, and he's a fellow HIV advocate, will be on the show this Saturday morning. So he'll be at the show. So, we got shows
in true Capricorn form.
Yeah. So see, even the show before the show's over, I already had somebody. That's how we do it, folks. So what do you say, Wayne? We take up early today?
Yeah, it sounds good. Let's do it.
All right. So for everybody watching, thank you so much for being part of the show. We're so glad that you were here. Again, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, and join us every Monday night, 5 p.m. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family. Bobby, thank you for the donation. We appreciate Bobby for the donation.
Oh, nice.
So if again, Cardivo, if you are able to donate whatever you can, we appreciate it. This is a self-funded independent show, so any funding is accepted. For now, we want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.